They want me to change, but I ain't changing. Nah, I remain the same.
And you are now tuned into another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio, brought to you in conjunction with a beautiful machine magazine. Beautiful Mind Machine Magazine. I always fuck that up. I'm sorry, folks. It's a family over here. And the mighty Nerd DJs Radio Network. I am your host, Jobs, you already know. And week after week, month after month, year after year, we only rock with legends around here. And today is absolutely no exception. We have the executive director of the Urban Arts Orchestra, Mr. Desean Jones. How you doing, King?
What's going on, man? It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh man, come on, the pleasure's all mine, bro. How you doing, man? How's your family?
Man, kids are doing well, man. I'm very blessed. They're blessed, and I'm just grateful, man. You know, to be active in the lives of my sons. You know,
First time you held your oldest son, what was your thoughts?
man, I had never seen a face so symmetrical in my life. Like, the boy was perfect. I ain't gonna lie to you. That was literally, I mean, I was just like, dang. And I held him up like Simba, you know, like, you know, from the Lion King. The nurses and doctors was looking at me like I was crazy. And I looked at him back like, what?
It's my boy. Exactly.
It's my son, you know. And he's 13 going on 14 now. And about as tall as I am. His voice didn't drop, you know. So it's just like a crazy thing to observe the passage of time, you know. It's quite beautiful, man.
Oh man, you only getting started, bro. I got adult kids and grandkids, and man, grandkids are that's a whole nother situation, bro. Like, you think you can't love like you loved your kids, but it's so much easier with your grandkids because you ain't got no responsibilities really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to eat ice cream in the morning, eat ice cream in the fucking morning. Send the ass home.
That's crazy. That's a whole other level right there.
The Urban Art Orchestra. What exactly is that?
So, Urban Art Orchestra is, well, the way it started out was just an art project, man. A passion project. I was in the pandemic, not doing too much anything. And, you know, I started working on my compositional sort of chops, you know, just practicing how to score and arrange for strings. I have a extensive background as a composer and arranger, particularly for, you know, small ensembles and for live bands and horns. So, you know, a lot of the work that I've throughout the years that would be noteworthy would be as an arranger, like saxophonist, horn player, blah, 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 blah. So fast forward to 2022, and I'm looking for opportunities to collaborate with string players and, you know, opportunities to kind of get this sound out of my head. And I was able to do that. This is perfect. Thank you. That's cool. And as far as the orchestra is concerned, I only wanted to do it one time. So I said, once the pandemic breaks, I'm going to do this live recording. I did it at Cliff Bell's. Recorded like, thank you. I did it for like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 hours worth of live recorded music. And I said, this will be my final hurrah. Because when we were, you know, in the pandemic, they said musicians were non-essential. Thank you. Hold on now. They said we were non-essential. They said that, you know, we weren't going to have live shows and music and things of that nature again. So I said, well, if ever I got the opportunity, I would most certainly go all out. So that's what I did. I went all out. You know, I took my money and invested in the project, the live recording, and that was the start of Urban Art Orchestra. That same year, we ended up collaborating with a lot of amazing artists, but most notably the late great Ant Fiddler, who gave us basically our launch and introduced us to the rest of the world. And it's been history ever since, man. We partnered with the DSO, we partnered with Big Sean, we partnered with Amazon, we partnered with Ford over at Michigan Central Station, the Democratic National Convention. We did the closeout event for Kamala Harris in Chicago last year. You know, we've published records all over the world. We have 2 records out, Urban Art Orchestra Live in Detroit, Volume 1 and 2. So we've been able to, inside of 3 years, kind of make some noise. And then just recently, as of last week, we were honored with the Spirit of Detroit Award. So, you know, very proud of the orchestra and all the work that they've done, and very, very proud to be from the city of Detroit, where they recognize artistry, you know, and energy.
And how many members do you have?
That's a good question. So my core, I got about 30, and then when we need to go big, I can do about 150.
Wait a minute, 30 is not going big?
Uh,
Yo, that's great. So how long does it typically take you to compose something for, let's say, 50 moving parts in your orchestra?
you know, I might get it done. I might be able to get it done in minutes. What's going on? I might be able to get it done in an hour. I don't know. It might take me 2 days. It just depends.
Is this something you studied in school, or just God-given talent, or both?
No, I definitely studied music. I went to DSA, and then I went on and studied at Oberlin Conservatory. I studied composition at Oberlin Conservatory. And I did that for 3 years. And that changed my life.
Yo, that's crazy though, bro. First off, shout out to you, man, because you don't see too many brothers with an orchestra. What's it like? Okay, Big Sean hits you up or hits up your representatives. How I don't know how that shit goes, but you know they get in touch with y'all. At what point do you talk to the artist to get their vision for it? Do you arrange before and bring it to them, or do you talk to them and then go arrange?
It's always teams. So Urban Art Orchestra is an institution, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are managers, there's day of coordinators, project managers, and so like we all work together with the artists and their team to put together a complete package for like the scope of work or the vision of what we want to execute, collaboratively speaking. So by the time I get to the artist, and yeah, we have our meetings, but it's like their musical directors have been in contact with me.
Got you.
We've sat down, we've ideated. They might already have a template for a show. And they're like, okay, here you can open up and you can do some things. Maybe there, keep it exactly as is. All right, here we're gonna create something on the spot. It's very kind of spontaneous, but structured, I feel, you know?
And so I want to do a show in 2 weeks. Is that enough time?
I mean, we did Big Sean in 48 hours.
Really? Is there artists that you feel like their music translates best to an orchestra?
All artists' music can be reimagined with the orchestra. There's no one artist or one style of music where it's like, oh, this is the one thing. Nah, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? From working with Big Sean, or if you listen to like bebop, like Charlie Parker with strings, you know, it works every time.
Your favorite composer?
Ooh, I got a few. That's a long list, and for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? George Clinton is one of them. Charles Stepney is one of them. I don't know if you're familiar with who that is, but
I am not.
For those who don't know, Charles Stepney wrote a lot of Earth, Wind, and Fire's catalog, like from his basement. Like the demos are actually the actual songs that you hear on the radio. You know what I'm saying? The outro to I believe it's Can't Hide Love.
Mm-hmm.
That's Charles Stepney. Like legendary work. Passed away in 1956. He's out of Chicago. Amazing inspiration. He's one of the goats. Like at his prime, it would have been him, or it would have been Quincy Jones. Okay. You know, David Foster is an amazing composer and arranger. Rachmaninoff, Shostakovich, Bach, Beethoven, Alexander Scriabin. I've studied him. Bela Bartok, like on the classical side of things.
What
John
is it
Coltrane,
about? What have you learned most from the classical side of things?
structure, musical structure, fundamental structure, and just how music works. You know what I'm saying? That's what you learn. Because there's rules like anything. There's rules in mathematics, there's rules in science, there's rules in music. And once you understand those fundamentals, you can start to bend and manipulate the properties of those fundamentals to create. And that's where artistry comes into play. Like when you understand the rules, you can break and bend them.
What's a perfect instrument?
Perfect instrument. If utilized correctly, I suppose the voice, but that's rare. Um, the piano is a perfect instrument because it is polyphonic, it's melodic, it's percussive. You know, like you can basically get the full range of it. But I think no one instrument reigns supreme over another. I mean, the drum is the most powerful instrument. You know what I'm saying? The first instrument you hear, you know what I'm saying, is to be the drum, your mom's heartbeat when you're in the womb. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why the human being is so drawn to the drum and rhythm, you know. But then after that is your mother's voice, you know, which is why singers and melody matters and resonates so much with the human being, at least in my opinion.
How ma- would you consider a choir a vocal orchestra then?
Yeah, you could say that for sure.
Is that something that you've considered or have done as far as arrangement, as far is the choir?
Yeah, we have a choir. We debuted the choir last year. We have a 50-piece choir, in addition to the orchestra.
So are you playing like at the symphony hall?
We have done performances at Orchestra Hall. We've done performances. We're actually getting ready to perform at Shane Park next week for the Jazzy Nights on Wednesday. So we'll be there with Samara Joy and Urban Art Orchestra. We go up at 7 o'clock, so you don't want to miss that because it's the season opener. And I believe they're celebrating 40 years at the Aretha. I said Shane Park, but that's my fault.
Well, most of us still call it the Shane Park, bro. You
I
know, so
mean, it's
I'm
just,
sorry,
just
Aretha.
I
but,
love Aretha. I was there. I
right.
was there when they did the renaming. I was playing when it went down. But you know, Shane Park, Aretha, saw Detroit. You know, just the same. But yes, we have a performance tomorrow at Spotlight, where we're gonna be doing some things. So, you know,
Do you ever fan out?
what does that mean?
Like there's an artist or somebody in the business that you've been a fan of, and you happen to come across that person, and you're still that fan, at least briefly.
No, only person I would do that with is Quincy Jones, and unfortunately for all of us, he passed away. But even in that space, I mean, the only thing I could say is thank you for your work and for laying the foundation for the next generation of artists and creators. Because I mean, he set the bar so high. But like, we're all human beings, man. I don't believe in putting anybody on a pedestal, man. I just, you know, if we all get cut, we all bleed the same. You know what I'm saying? We all hurt the same. We all experience joy. You know what I'm saying? Like Frankie Beverly said, you know, joy and pain. You know, so maybe if I was younger and less experienced, I think that would be a thing. But I've been touring with legends and working with a lot of amazing artists my entire career. So at a certain point, you just realize like people are people, and we all have our gifts,
Yeah.
and you can celebrate people's gifts, but you don't have to kind of overdo it in that way, you know. And to each his own. You know, I'm not dismissing how other people express their gratitude. You know, like if Beyonce shows up, you know, they'll shut down the streets because she's, you know,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. But man, I done been in rooms with politicians, artists, whatever, and it's all the same to me.
Okay, as you look back over your career, I'm certain there are peaks and valleys. What was the first peak as far as success for you, where you felt like this phone call, like this was the one, this is about to change shit for me?
Man, I got a couple of those, but I'll tell you two of them. The first, I got three of them,
Mhm.
and it was all kind of like back to back. I was still in high school, and I met Marcus Belgrave. That changed my life forever. Um, the next thing was getting locked in with my brother J. Drew Sheard and Kiera Sheard and working with the Clark sisters. So I started touring with them when I was like 15, 16. You know what I'm saying? Like we're playing, like I'm getting out of school and we got to go to, you know, Joe Louis to play a sold out concert. You know, like I had never done stuff like that before. And then right after I graduated, I got linked up with Mad Mike Banks at Underground Resistance, and that changed my career forever. Um, I ended up touring like immediately. Like I met him, and 2 weeks later, we were in Switzerland playing Montreal Jazz Fest in Miles Davis Hall with Prince standing in the wings watching me and John Dixon play. You know, we toured for about 15 years nonstop. You know, all over the world.
Joe,
Like,
did Prince say anything?
he had a plane to catch, so he checked us out, and then
Yo,
and I and Mad Mike Banks didn't tell me that until years later. hmm But you know, coming from Detroit and flying to Switzerland, people don't believe that
that's
it's a
crazy.
real
Fuck,
thing.
that's crazy work right there, bro.
You know, and like fresh out of high school, so I felt like I got drafted, like first round draft pick. That's what it felt like.
First instrument you played.
Man, I used to mess around with the piano all the time when I was a kid, which is why I use it so much now. Yeah.
West side or east side? Detroit.
East
Which?
side.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. It's okay.
No, 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 no. My apologies to you and you know.
So, at what point in school do they do the adults around you realize how naturally gifted you are?
It didn't really hit until high school. When I got to DSA, that's when you know my band director Ed Quick, the legendary Ed Quick, he was the one that sat down with me and was like, "Okay, you have some talent, but now we need to develop your skills." So he taught me, you know, solid breathing techniques and you know how to actually navigate the instrument. He gave me different etudes to practice. I would take private lessons with this pianist and accompanist by the name of Mr. Gabur. God rest his soul, he passed. But they would sit with me for hours at a time and help me develop my skill set and refine my skill set so that I could be proficient. So, you know, in Michigan, they got this thing called MSBOA, where you compete and you play
Mhm.
your etudes, and if you do well, you get a blue ribbon or a red ribbon or nothing at all. So when I went to these competitions as a kid, I always got a blue ribbon. But then they had like another level of adjudication for your individual solos. And for 3 years in a row, I think I got like 100 out of 100, which made me like the top saxophonist in the state or whatever. And then they would have me go to Kalamazoo for the Michigan Youth Arts Festival every year. So that's kind of like the beginning of my formal training, and then from then on, I did the Civic Jazz Orchestra through the DSO under the direction of Marcus Belgrave, and then shortly after that, the legendary Rodney Whitaker, who was the head of the Jazz Studies program over at Michigan State. So I think it's just about having a long list of great mentors. When I got to Oberlin, I ended up studying with Marcus, who was there at the time. I studied with Gary Bartz, Billy Hart, like all jazz legends, heavies, Robin Eubanks. And then I studied music theory with a gentleman by the name of Brian Allegot, who is arguably one of the foremost authorities on, music theory. So I had him for 2 years, and it helped me to sharpen my skills. So yeah, you can have talent, but talent will only carry you so far. Like actual skill set is the difference maker, and that's actually what breeds longevity in an industry like this. Because there's a high turnover rate. You know,
What do you
very high
tell the younger youths?
You have to honor the discipline of this study, man. Like everybody's talented. That's great. But do you really know what you're doing? Dedicate yourself to the thorough investigation of this thing called music or whatever it is that you call yourself doing. Like, please, please, please don't be talented and ignorant at the same time. Ignorant meaning unknowing, right? If you can do something, you should be able to explain how you did it or why you did it. You know what I'm saying? And it's in the space of being thorough and meticulous that you have the ability to not only execute but also educate. You know.
Did your neighborhood know how proficient you were, how profound you were musically?
No,
Do they at any point? Never.
no, no. It wasn't until later on. Like once I started doing shows and stuff, then it was like, oh, okay.
Once
But
you get tickets to shit.
but like the city, the one thing I love about the city of Detroit, man, is there's such a community of support around young artists and young talent. So I never felt unsupported ever. If anything, I felt like I was the baddest thing out there. And then I listened to these recordings of myself when I was younger. I'm like, oh my God, it's so terrible. But they're still clapping. You better play. Go ahead.
Okay.
Throwing dollar bills at you and stuff, and just giving you a lot of encouragement. So when you come from Detroit, you do believe, at least as a young musician, you do believe in yourself. You know what I'm saying? We got a certain swagger and a certain confidence. Like we're going to different cities. Like, what's up? We came to play, and I know I can play. Detroit is a hard city to. It's a tough crowd. Two crowds that's really tough is Detroit and Chicago. Them two. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. New York is easy. Detroit is hard, and we got a tough crowd.
Yeah, in every aspect. Like I don't care what you're doing, but
Man,
they'll ride with you too.
Exactly, and that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
So when you listen back to the old you, do you hear what your mentors heard?
Yes. Disappointment.
Oh, stop it, man! They don't. No.
Disappointment and frustration.
They also hear that they saw a gem. It was something you was doing.
I was advanced for my age, but severely underskilled and categorically unknown. I was playing strictly from talent and from field, which is great, but you can't build a career off of that.
Most technical piece of music you've ever attempted?
Damn, that's a good question. Hmm. Outside of my own writing?
It doesn't matter. Would that make it more difficult that you wrote it?
Just because I wrote it don't make it any easier. Shit, I write some hard shit.
Well, I'm not saying you don't write hard shit, but what I'm saying is that you wrote it. You know what I'm saying? So you would think that you're living with it, you're sitting with it.
The imagination has no regard for the deficiencies in your technical capabilities. It goes off of what it thinks it wants. And then you try and play, and be like, ooh, shit, I can't even play this. I'm gonna need to practice. Nah, man, for real. So I'll be looking at people like, well, I can play it, and I know it's hard. So you might need to spend some time in the share. I mean, I've just had to play so much music over the years, man. Classical pieces, jazz, and everything in between, gospel. That they all present a unique set of challenges because it's not just about the sound; it's also about the feeling that you want to invoke when you make this music. You know, like you're also creating music to affect people and to touch people, right? So I don't know, man. Oh, you know what? I did play a piece written by Jerry Allen, and that song kicked my ass. I think it's Dolphy's Dance. I played with Marcus Belgrave, Jerry Allen, Kareem Riggins, Bob Hurst, and Dwight Adams for the Detroit Jazz Fest. This was Marcus Belgrave's Jazz All Stars. And I learned the head, but I couldn't play the chord changes. I was trying to use my ear, and those are very complex chord changes. So yeah, that was an ass kicker. Yeah. I lost that battle that day.
This question I ask everybody that comes on the show has absolutely nothing to do with nothing. But here goes. You're sitting on a park bench, and God sits down next to you, and he or she says that you can ask them one question. What would it be?
One question?
Yes, sir.
Not asking God no questions. What am I going to ask God questions for? I'm just going to be like, thank you. You know what I mean? Thank you for everything. I might ask God, what's up? What up, though? But I ain't asking God no questions.
I'm one of those people. I don't understand why people feel like they shouldn't be able to ask God a question.
I didn't say shouldn't. I just don't have nothing to ask him.
That's different. That's fair. But I've had people say, "I don't." Well, we're not supposed to ask God, and why?
If I had a question to ask God, I would ask him. But you know what I'm saying? I'm in touch with God through music, so any question I have is answered through the music anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really where I'm at with it. So I would just say thank you. Like I tell my boys, I tell people around me, I'm like, man, I've lived a beautiful life. I'm so grateful. And that's not to say I haven't had my ups and downs. Like this shit's been crazy. It's been one hell of a roller coaster to ride, but I'm thankful for it. So let's say I was able to meet God, man, like face to face. I'm like, bro, thanks. Thank you.
Last time you wanted to quit?
Quit? What is that?
You've never considered that?
What is quitting, bro? What is that? I don't understand that. What is quit?
Well, all right, that's fair and understandable. The success is understandable because you can't be successful if quitting is in your DNA. You may think about it though.
Listen, quit. Figure it out. You can quit doing stupid shit. You can do that. Make it make sense. But
Make it make
quit.
sense.
But quit? No, ain't no quit. Listen, man, we don't know how much time we have. I'm trying to go until I can't no more. Why would I quit? That's ridiculous.
Yo, I saw an HBCU band. I'm not sure which one. Not sure even the name of the song that they were playing, but there was a trombone player who played this trombone unlike any trombone player I've ever seen in my life before or since. And I was jealous that I couldn't play an instrument that well. Is there anybody that you've seen play an instrument and got that same sentiment?
No.
Best guitar player.
Best guitar player?
Mm-hmm.
For what?
For anything.
So I mean, there's so many.
I got a gun to your
different...
head. I need you to tell me who you think your best guitar player is in history, dead or alive. Who you got?
it depends on what the music is. It depends on what it calls for. Like, if you're talking about just like being free and really expressive, I mean, you got to give that to Jimi Hendrix. You know what I'm saying? But guitar players, guitar players. I know some bad guitar players too, man. Um, there's a cat out in South Florida. His name is Dave Carmel. He's amazing on guitar. There's a cat here in Detroit, D. Sambata. He will light you up on guitar. Like, there's another cat here in the city by the name of Anthony Booker. We call him Book. Book got so much soul and sound and tone. You know what I'm saying? So all these cats are amazing. Joe Flay. Man, who else? I mean, there's just so many amazing guitar. I know a lot of great guitar players. Um, you know, there's a guy out in Philly by the name of Rush G. Uh, he's amazing. He's just so fluid. My favorite guitarist, though,
Mhm.
is his name is Kurt Rosenwinkel. Kurt Rosenwinkel, to my ears, is the superior sound of guitar. You know, there's nothing he can't play, and he is absolute master of modern and Western harmony.
I give you a blank check and tell you can have one person make a piano for you. Who would it be? Or company?
What's that company called? Fazoli or whatever. Honestly, I would go with those old school Steinways. Like if I could go to like the old school Steinways, like mint condition, I would do that. So I can build me a little time machine, taking me there and back.
Yeah.
It's a blank check, baby.
The blank check, baby. You can get what you what. So I'm assuming you've played a Steinway or
Yeah.
several.
Yeah.
What is it about the feel of that piano that
Uh,
separates it?
Steinways are just amazing. They're amazing instruments. You know what I'm saying? They have such a rich color to it and a clarity. But I know Herbie Hancock. I forget the name of the company. I think it's like Fazoli or I don't know. I'm displaying my ignorance right now. But anyway, that's supposed to be like the best piano in the world. I haven't played one yet, so I don't know. But um, yeah, you asked me a lot of guitar and piano questions. I play saxophone, so
Well, you know what? I didn't want to make it too easy for you. What is it? What is it about the saxophone though that just does it for you?
the saxophone's a bad motherfucker, man. I love that damn instrument, and not just any saxophone, but tenor saxophone. Tenor saxophone can emulate a human voice. It has all these abilities to create all these crazy combinations. You can access your ideas quickly. Um, you can shred on a saxophone like you can an electric guitar. You know, but
How do you
you
do
can.
that without passing out?
Depends on how long the passage is, but I think proper um, training for learning how to utilize your wind and utilize your diaphragm is the first wave, and then the extended technique is circular breathing. Which James Carter, if you're from Detroit, you know who James Carter is. James will wear you out on that damn tenor. Any horn, really, but especially that tenor. So, and I studied with him, and I still do. I consider myself a lifelong learner and a lifelong student of his. He calls me one of his saxophonic sons. Me and Raphael Staten. That's my brother on saxophone. But yeah, man, it's a beautiful instrument, man, and it's very intricate mechanical
Mhm.
instruments. It's a lot of springs and rods and buttons and corks and brass. It's just like it's a whole thing. It's alchemy, man. It's beautiful alchemy.
Which sax have you owned the longest?
The first one I ever received, my alto sax.
You still got the first one.
Yeah,
We talking
my
like high
king.
school?
Yeah.
Did you? So was that like a gift or something, or like?
Yeah, my pops got it for me off of a casual bet. That's really how I got into music. I used to be on punishment a lot, so
they this is showing my age a little bit, but they used to have like a encyclopedia on the CD-ROM. So I had Encarta 98, and I used to pop it in the computer. This was back when you would get internet like AOL, and they give you like 90 minutes of
Yeah,
internet.
bro. I'm from the generation that actually had the encyclopedia. I'm that
Well,
old.
nah,
Bro.
but see, this is the thing. I remember them thick ass books because I had to read that too. And the dictionary and the thesaurus would be like the Bible times 10. It was so thick.
Oh my God, those things were ridiculous.
And it had a, and
Encyclopedia
it had a, and it had a,
Britannica.
right, bro, and it had a smell to it. Like I remember all that.
Yeah, that shit was wild though.
So, so just the same, they had little sound bites of like different jazz musicians. So they had one of Miles Davis. Miles Davis was playing Origin. I heard the first 16 bars of, you know, of that, and then I heard Chet Baker playing his own sweet way or in your own sweet way, and I heard Charlie Parker. And then my dad came downstairs and was like, "What are you listening to?" I was like, "I don't know, but whatever it is, it sounds easy." And he looked at me and was like, "Easy." And so we got to rapping, and then, my birthday was like coming up. And so he was like, "I'll make a bet with you. Since you think it's so easy, I'll get you any instrument of your choosing. And if you can play it in 6 months, you get to keep it. If not, I'm getting my money back." I said, "Bet." So me thinking it was like something valuable, which it is, but not as valuable as I thought it was, because I'm a kid. I'm like, I'm gonna get like the biggest instrument with the most gold and silver on it. So it's like I'm not gonna get a trumpet because that's too small and they only got 3 buttons. So I'm gonna go with a saxophone. I'm thinking that this man about to cash out on a silver and gold saxophone, not realizing that it's made out of just raw brass and regular metal. Didn't know, was a kid. But I took it seriously, man. I practiced every day, and he let me practice, and I got better and better and better. And I turned professional pretty early in my career, man. By the time I was about 14, I was already playing live shows and was definitely starting to tour between 15 and 16.
At what point did your pops know?
I think when we was talking cash shit about me being able to play music that I'd never played before, I think that's when he figured it out.
Yo,
What up, though? Good to see you, man.
and the
This,
crazy part is most people don't. Fathers are so intricate in especially a young man's life, and we don't always get the stories.
nah, man, my pops is the reason that I'm like where I am today and who I am today. And my mom, she played a huge role in supporting my journey as a musician. And but like obviously they weren't together. I should say obviously, but I think people picked up on that. And I lived with my dad for a large part of my life, man. I mean, similar to that now. I mean, my kids live with me, my sons, and I'm a single parent, and I love it, man. I love being a father. Like, it's the best thing, man. It's dope.
Yeah, there is no replacement. Even on the bad days, being a parent, man, is just the biggest job, but the dopest job you'll ever get.
Yeah, it's a heavy lift, and I'm raising three boys, three different ages, so they have three sets of needs, and it's a revolving door of who needs what, when, where, and why, and so just being available and being able to show up, but also being able to teach them the same lesson at the same time, but in three different ways. It teaches you a lesson in leadership. It teaches you a lesson in patience. It teaches you lessons in compassion. Um, because the most beautiful human in the world is one that is, that isn't tainted by the world that they're in. You know what I'm saying? They just look at things for face value, and everything is brand new. You know, so I want them to be able to kind of keep that, but also be aware of the world that they're in and the times that they're living in. Like I was talking to my son today, so all my boys play chess,
Mhm.
and I was just like, you have to sharpen your mind every day because you're not competing against your peers anymore. You're competing against technology. You're competing against AI. You
Mhm.
know, I didn't have that pressure when I was their age.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
And I will say one thing, like especially for my generation, like you don't realize, And for most generations before this technological super advancement of AI. But like even the smartest person found out at some point once you left your area that there were other people that were the smartest person in their area, and that's where the battles really began. Well, I take that back. The discipline that you were raised with is where the battles really began.
Yeah.
How do you instill the discipline that's required for success in your sons?
You demonstrate it first.
Hmm.
You can't teach something that you yourself can't demonstrate. So my sons see me wake up every morning at like 5 or 6. You know, they see how hard I work, and then you also have to teach them the benefits of your hard work. You know what I'm saying? Labor without reward is slavery by a different name. So I really believe in working hard and playing hard. You know what I'm saying? So everybody has their objectives, and once their objectives are completed, then you reward that. You know what I'm saying? And just remain consistent. Consistency is key. You know.
How do you define success?
I don't, to be honest. I don't know. One person's success is another man's failure. You know. So I think the only way you can define success is uh, by way of execution. Did you get it completed? Did you get the job done? That is success. But you know, to say a person is successful, the way I interpret it is like, okay, this person just gets shit done
Mm.
consistently. You
You
got the
ever
job done.
you ever did a solo sax album?
Say that again.
Have you ever done a solo saxophone album?
Just solo.
Yes.
No, I've done trio albums. I've done orchestra, quartet, quintet, septet. I've done like different albums, but just saxophone by itself, no.
So when you say the trio album, is that three saxes or you and two different instruments?
No, it's like saxophone, bass, drums, like a traditional jazz trio.
What so that was a jazz album then?
Yep. Yeah, and I've got a few of those. I've published, I think, somewhere around like 20 albums so far. But I've recorded somewhere maybe around like 200 or 300 different projects over the years. So this next phase of my career is going to be focused on just publishing all those works. So I got a crazy back catalog of music. And as I'm getting older, now that I have kids, I think it's important to publish those works and make those works available because there's this thing called musical real estate. And music real estate is such that you never know, it could get placed, it could get
Yeah.
licensed.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to rob my kids the opportunity to benefit from that work if it goes unpublished. It might not get licensed until after my death or something, but at
It's
least
still money.
there you go. So that's 200 to 300 more opportunities for something to pop off, but that's on one side. The other side of it is I don't believe in creating art and keeping it to yourself. Like once you create the art, you should release it and give it back to the universe and give it back to the people.
Is there a particular singer that you would love to do a jazz album with?
No, not really. I don't know. I think all the great singers that I was a fan of have
Hmm.
transitioned, like the Whitney Houstons, the Luther Vandrosses, like just people that really had a voice. I mean, I would like to do something with Kim Burrell, and I'm actually working on that. Legendary gospel vocalist.
Yeah.
But like, I work with Karen Clark Sheard, who, in my opinion, is the greatest vocalist alive. So I don't. I feel like that itch has been scratched in a way because all we do is make records. Shout out to J. Drew Shear. He is an amazing musical visionary, amazing uh, CEO. And just he's a musical genius, man. He is a musical genius's musical genius. You know what I'm saying? That's a bad man. So I get a chance to work with Karen Clark Sheard and Kier. Sherry Kelly, like those are mean vocal machines. I can't. They can do stuff that's unnatural. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. I love them. I love them my whole heart, and we've taken so many risks with them. It's me, Jay Brooks. He's an amazing producer and just all around musician. Jay Drew Sheard, and we've done all these different arrangements and concerts and stuff. And, we've gone crazy on these records, man.
Is there a high point for you so far?
Yeah, I've had a few high points. Teaching music in Africa was a high point. Giving a master class in the Great Wall of China was a high point. Um, Playing in front of the pyramids in Egypt was a high point. Um,
That's dope.
Watching my sons. Hey, 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 hey. Okay. What's going on?
Yo, in front of the pyramids, though.
Yeah, I've been fortunate to have some amazing experiences, man. But like the high point of my life has nothing to do with music. I don't care about music. I got 3 sons, man. I got 3 boys. Watching them grow and develop and express themselves and explore their creativity, that's more exciting for me than anything I've ever done in my career. I'm thankful for that, man. I'm in that space.
Okay, but and I'm with you on that. Love that. Beautiful. My one thing on my bucket list is to go see the pyramids.
Sure.
What did you play?
A saxophone.
No. Like what song did you play or
I
songs?
played my song, whatever it was, man. I just played the God, man. You know what I'm saying? Whatever notes came out is what it was. You know.
I saw a picture of Louis Armstrong praying for his wife in front of the pyramids.
And they got a security protocol. You're really not supposed to do that. And where I was at the time, I was married, and like you could overlook and see the Sphinx on the right side and the pyramids. Right, it's a thing, man. But like I've just been fortunate, man, to travel the world, experience some amazing opportunities, meet amazing people. The whole nine. So
The Great Wall, like what's that like?
man, the Great Wall is a workout and a half because the stairs are low, right? And they're long. And the reason they're built like that is because they had mules climbing up and carrying cargo. So you couldn't have these stouts,
Right.
stairs. They need to be longer. So it's a workout. So I'm carrying this 50-pound saxophone on my shoulder, climbing the Great Wall. That was a ill-fated maneuver, but I made it.
I didn't know that saxophones weighed that much.
The,
50
the
pounds?
the the horn that I had was a custom horn. It had an onyx body, silver bell, silver neck, golden mouthpiece. It just the materials are what made it heavy, and
Okay.
then the case. But like, no, that was a heavy ass horn. That motherfucker was a tank.
You didn't think that one through, huh?
Didn't. I was just like, well, because I promised my grandma that I would go to all these places around the world and play for her. You know what I'm saying? She passed away, so I'd be like, Granny, we made it to the Great Wall. We made it to the pyramids. You know what I'm saying? We made it here. We made it there. We made it to the Eiffel Tower. Like, that's like my own personal thing. Like, I made a promise to her that I would like go to all these places in the world and we would go there together. You know what I'm saying? So like, I utilized my gift to like open those doors. And so we can see the world together. We can see the world. We can go to Big Ben in London. You know what I'm saying? And do the thing. She actually really, my grandma on my mom's side really instilled a really strong love for travel and exploring the world, you know, and we would like imagine that we're gonna go to the Arctic, and she would like decorate the house a certain way. It was a thing. So I think my love for travel really came from her. So being a musician and traveling, it was just like perfect. You know, two things. I love music and exploring and seeing new things, you know.
Yo, man, your village was dope as fuck.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yo, I can. You say she decorated the house, huh?
Yeah, you know, just like,
That's
you know,
crazy.
my uncles was military, so they would bring stuff back. You know, they bring back, you know, porcelain geishas from Japan, and and I didn't know what they were. I didn't realize they were as expensive or as valuable as they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I just got exposed to a lot, mainly because of that military sort of, background in a way. But my village is amazing. My tribe is amazing. And when I go out and I represent the city, I always tell people I come from Pride of Lions. Like, I'm not the only one out here tearing shit up. There's a few of us out here, you
It's
know.
nothing. It's nothing like Detroit, bro.
Nah, not
Not
at
in this
all.
country, anyway.
Nah, this is the blackest city in the country, man.
Man, listen.
And we are the mecca of culture. We are the mecca of music. You know what I'm saying? We are the mecca of so many different things, and people they take from us, and they maybe give credit or not. But at the end of the day, you can easily source the origin of a lot of things. You know, we talk about techno, we talk about hip hop, jazz, gospel music, rock and roll. Like it take your pick.
Yeah, and we gonna circle back and get our credit. Don't worry about that.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna get ours.
Yo, man. When is the book coming out?
Hmm.
You need an autobiography, bro. Because the hour does not do you justice at all.
Oh man, you're too kind. You really are.
Nigga, you have the traveling alone, man, is a whole ass hour at least. Like we could have talked an hour about just the Great Wall of China, fucking marvel of man made shit. That and the pyramids doesn't get any better than those two,
Man,
for my
what?
money.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But if nobody has told you today, bro, I'm extremely proud of you.
Thank you, man. It means the world. And thank you for having me on your platform. I don't take that lightly. And maybe we should do it again sometime. You know what I'm saying? We can have a round two, and you can ask more questions, or we could do like a longer format where we do like a 2 hour, like drink chaps where the interview could be 2 hours, 3 hours until we're just done talking. You know what I mean?
I want to come sit in the orchestra and we can chop it up.
Done. Done. I'll let you know when we have our next performance or set of performances. You're invited to anyone that you choose to pull up to, always as a special guest. And we
Don't
can.
be lying to me, bro. Motherfuckers come on the show and be lying, man.
Well, I don't know. Do I strike you as the type?
No, well, you got a saxophone, man. I don't know, man. I can't trust a brother with a saxophone.
Oh well, then I guess to that point you can't trust a brother with an orchestra either.
I'm fucking with you. Yo, you invite me, man. We pulling up. We will. That
Please
just
do.
you don't see enough of us in that type of space.
It's hard too. I ain't gonna lie to you. You asked me if I ever think about quitting. I don't think about quitting, but I get frustrated. I do get frustrated because I want so much more for us, man. You know what I'm saying? We have officially been dubbed Urban Art Orchestra, Detroit's orchestra for a reason because we do the work. We show up, man. We show up for the people and we play the music that the people want to celebrate, which is our music, our indigenous American music. It's not just black music, it's American music, American composers. See, they don't want to give us that credit. They don't want to
No,
give
they
us
don't.
credit as composers. They'll
Man,
call us a producer or rapper or whatever. But no, 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 no. Quincy Jones is a composer.
yes. Shit,
You
Jay
can't.
Dilla is a composer.
Jay Dilla is a composer's composer. Quit playing, man. We
Man,
just
listen.
did a thing at Cliff Bell's on Sunday where we locked in with T3 and RJ from Slum Village
Hmm.
and gave a beautiful concert. I'm not saying that because I'm in it. I'm saying like it just came together, man. It was such a beautiful tribute, man, and I'm just honored, man. I'm so proud to be from Detroit, and I'm proud of my city and the growth and the transformations that we've seen over the years. Where Detroit is back, and Detroit is black. You gotta
Absolutely.
know it. You gotta know it.
I'm gonna
So
need
it
a
is
4
what
2
it is,
Doug
man. And I hope
orchestra
people will
performance.
come to a place of understanding and appreciation. But the work that we do and the work that Urban Art Orchestra does really comes from a space of love, man. Love for our city, love for our culture, love for the music, and reverence towards those that came before us. You know what I'm saying? We want to honor their legacies as well.
Yo, 4-2 Doug. I'm sorry, I talked over you a little bit. Sorry about that. 4-2 Doug, if you're out there, I know you be putting on all types of shit that brings everybody together. Yeah, I need Urban Arts Orchestra in the mix for that. And let these young kids see the greatness of an orchestra and the greatness of black people when we got an orchestra, because everything we do is just fucking different. On that note, bro, yo, I can't possibly thank you enough for stopping by. This has been an honor and a phenomenal conversation, man. Hit me up. I absolutely will be there. And if there's anything that I can do for you, I'm not sure what, but if there is, let me know and I got you. I think Desean is frozen. Well, he's the end of it. Not hit him up about that because I damn sure want to go see the orchestra perform live because, well, I don't think I've ever seen the orchestra perform live, and that would be fucking dope. On that note, yo, I will be back next week, and we had to reschedule Cable. I don't, I'll be fucking names up. I want to say it's Cable. There is. Oh no, you got it already. On that note, we out of here for the evening. This is Jobs. This has been another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio. And you know what? Who do we got next week? Let me pull it up. We got Corey Cofield coming on at 7:00. And we're doing Black Business Buzz again at 5:00. If you do have a business, you know somebody that owns a business, has a service, whatever, long as it's legal, come fuck with us. We do Black Business Buzz once a month where we just give 4 Black-owned businesses about 15 minutes a piece to promote whatever product or service that they have. It's free of charge. All we ask in return is that you show some love to a fellow Black-owned business owner. On that note, yo, and if you have any business inquiries, you want to get on the show, blase, whatever, hit up Rita, my manager. I got the best, absolute best manager in the galaxy, and you can hit her up on Instagram at Carita Montez Miller. That is Carita Montez Miller. And I don't know if you could see, yeah, you could see that. Bam. That's so much easier for me than trying to spell that shit. On that note, I'm out. Y'all have a good one. Peace.